Bound by Fate and Blood by Jenna O'Malley. The Merna Annals, Book 1. Chapter 34. Ian. They did not need to tell Ian where to find his she-faerie upon arrival. He followed his nose to her worry and heard her desire to see him the moment he walked through Sancta Terra's veil. The hard taste of her bloodlust struck him when exiting the stairs to her room. The floor doesn't deserve such ire from your feet, lass. How long have you been pacing? A visible shiver traced along her spine as she turned to face him. He met her halfway, moving to kneel and present his left foot, as he should. She forced him to stand and accept her embrace instead. You are such a foolhardy human. She buried the words into his chest. Thank Nephthys, you're safe. I promised, didn't I? He stroked her hair. And Vovary is in Maria and Rochelle's care, being prodded and fed. Thank you for bringing him. How are the others? Neftiri asked. Potami was poisoned, but Adia and Shimon confirmed it was sleeping and nothing more. She should wake soon. He leaned into her hand as she caressed smudges of battle from his cheek so his lips could find their way into kissing her palm. He observed in his thoughts, her skin is cold, more so than last time. Others will see to her, and I hope Frey will want to visit Lee. She led him into her chambers. Would you care to join me for a pint to celebrate? He followed her through the door and closed it behind them. As her hands cast to seal them from observers, he asked, Of beer? What else, silly? A dagger unsheathed from his belt with a resonant zing. The blade hit the floor and bounced twice before landing. It sprayed the scent of his blood into the air from where his wrist bled, as it had the night the elders accepted him into their fold. Her stomach growled, craving his crimson, even though her hand flew over her abdomen to silence residual bloodlust. She shook her head, trying to find the words to fend him off. I will be better soon. He closed the gap between them. Do not lie to me, lass. We've exchanged one sip of blood, and it's not nearly enough. I know you want more. I feel the knots in your stomach. I hear your desires to live out our fantasies. There's so much cinnamon in the air, I can't breathe. Finish what you started before I left. Sealing the ceremonial bond is sufficient for me. Not when you risk bloodlust. His looming form pressed her to keep walking backward, and he let the wounded wrist dangle at his side. Christian, please, I need to heal you without drinking. That is not my name, and like hell you do. Switch the order around, and I might consider being cooperative. Her knees buckled against the seat's edge, forcing her to sit as he kneeled to trap her there. His bleeding wrist stained the fabric, pulling over her lap. You cannot go without. Let me care for you, Tiri. Stop. Never. Not until it undoes me. You're so tired, you can't force me to stay still. You're trying to cast that spell, aren't you? The one you and Abraxas both know. And you don't have the energy. Ian, that's my name. Yes. And it is my understanding you dream of using that spell on me in delectable ways. Don't say that. Her eyes shone like glass. What does the air smell like? Leather? A hint of chocolate? What else? The sea. My favorite. She devoured his wrist at last. He didn't wince as her fangs latched into the fresh wound. Her satisfied moans knotted his stomach. Dizziness cranked his mind apart, and his body relaxed as if it were weightless. This sensation. I've never felt anything so intense. His head rested in her lap, and he reveled in the pulsing vibrations she sent through him. He wanted to bite her back. Withdrawing, she licked her lips. It'll pass. Edging away from delirium, they tended to his wrist. An application of Arya's juice hid their secret as if it never happened, and a few more drops cleaned her dress. Drowsy and satisfied, he cradled her in his lap. A tired, content sigh escaped him. Her voice whispered in his mind, though her lips did not move. I never tasted anyone so divine. What an infuriating attraction he's become. I want more of him now, not less. He said aloud, Tiri, what am I to do with you? She blushed. Could you hear me still? After the drink? Yes, and even clearer. After living a lie, I want to know someone true, so ask me with that mind of yours what you want most. She thought, would you care to stay? I've wanted to be in your arms for too long. That's why I visited you before the battle. I couldn't sleep until I was there with you. I don't want to be rude by being too forward. He chuckled. You can ask whatever you like in that regard, and whenever you like, with your mind or your lips. No worry. I'll be a gentleman, I swear. She guided him to a bed covered in pillows and blankets galore. The sound of his belt and clothes hitting the floor caught her breath when she whispered, I can make room. Is this a routine we're establishing? You're teasing me again. She fumbled with undoing her gown, so he slid it from her shoulders. And yet I earned a smile. If you keep rewarding me like that, I might have to keep teasing. The blush twinge highlighting her cheeks traced the curve of her neck, right along the vein he craved to bite. Her thoughts rambled. This is so awkward. If I don't look up, will he force me to do it again? Do I want him to, though? Is that part of what I'm trying to make him do? This is so confusing. I've never been good at this. I never know the right decision. Oh, by the divine, did he hear that? When he didn't respond, she peered up to see his soft, patient smile. His thumb caressed over her cheek as he whispered, imbuing her with his kindness. You look down at your feet for no one, including me. Climbing between her linens together ended with their heads sharing a pillow among the many available. She nudged a few of them aside and toppled a handful of them to the floor, making room for his broad shoulders and height. She curled her legs away from his, but he soothed her anxiety by brushing his foot against her smooth skin after chasing her flesh to pull her feet closer. Something is worrying you, lass. You can trust me. Whatever passes between us here is secret and sacred unless we tell each other differently. I like that idea. He waited for her to decide where she should start. She watched his fingers dance along the inside of her forearm before he slid an assuring squeeze into her grasp. With a heavy sigh of relaxation laden with the intention to unravel, she asked, You saw your cousin as one of the guild, didn't you? The Draco killer? That's what his brothers in arms called him, she scoffed. My father slipped twice with it when I was a child, if I am honest. Duncan always laughed it off as something from their youth. I wasn't close to the man, like with most of my family. We were told he was lost at sea, so seeing him was a surprise. She asked, Do you think anyone else could be alive? My Koya is dead. If I see her again, it will not be while I live a human life. Her brow furrowed, but a long yawn interrupted the attempt to continue. As adorable as that expression is on your face, Tiri. We can talk later. She giggled. Call me that again, and I will. Tiri, go to sleep, so I can do what we want with you. Close your eyes. For more of this chapter, go to www.themernaannals.com.